Hi Flavia, more essays from you. Good. Let's take a look and see what you wrote today. Different cultures are mixing today and the world is becoming a global village. Is it a positive or negative development? Okay. Experts throughout both developing and developed countries have debated whether the mixture of cultures generated from globalization is beneficial without the A, is beneficial for the development of nations or not. Some believe it can weaken their cultural traditions, but I personally strongly disagree. Double L here. This essay will argue why the mixture of culture can boost the development of all countries involved, using examples from Oxford University to demonstrate points and prove arguments. PROVE. I think we've seen this error before, so please be aware of it and try to avoid it. Okay. On the one hand, there is ample evidence that globalization has, singular here has, brought the chance of expanding knowledge to many different different cultures. The central reason behind this is twofold. Firstly, people can have close contact with a variety of different food, traditions, and language. This can open their minds and insert them international market. Well, not really. And allow them to enter the international market. For example, 90% of students from Oxford University agree that participating in the international educational exchange programs available in universities all over the world can enhance their chances of getting a better job once graduated. Okay, once they graduate, not once graduate. It's not really an adjective the way you mean it here. Secondly, this cultural exchange tends to increase the respect and tolerance between different nations. Once they get to know and really understand each other's apostrophe S, customs, spelled wrong. You wrote costumes. You want customs, which is U-O. They become better prepared to accept and respect each other, which, with an H here, can lessen the chances of interracial attacks or even a war. On the other hand, although no T, there is a substantial gain for the world. This mix in cultures, this mix of cultures, really, can indeed weaken traditions and you can't say lose a nation's identity. I think what you really want to say here is something like can threaten a nation's identity. Becoming more open-minded can cause some negative effects in determinate cultures, as some people may start to question extremely restrictive and prohibitive customs, again spelled wrong. Although as much as this may seem like a problem, it should not be forgotten that freedom of expression is a right of all. To conclude, after the arguments and examples given, I firmly believe that the mix of cultures the mix of cultures brings uncountable benefits for society and therefore should be encouraged by all nations. Okay. Let's see. Now, a few things here. First of all, since you are pro-culture mix, this paragraph needs to go second. This paragraph needs to go first. Okay? So the order of the paragraphs is wrong. We always put the side that we agree with last. We put it closer to a conclusion. That's the first thing. The second thing is it's kind of lopsided. You have a lot of information here and about half as much here. And I think we've talked about this before. I'd like you to avoid this. You didn't talk about global village at all. It says different cultures are mixing. Yes, it's true. And the world is becoming a global village. So I wanted you to be aware of what that means. It's talking really about how much telecommunications and electronic media have brought us closer together. So it talks a lot about that. You talk more about like the international market and respect and tolerance, but I wanted you to talk about more specifically global village and what that entails. So do look it up and see what it means, okay? Spelling mistakes, although I feel like there were fewer in this essay than I've seen in some of your other essays. Okay, good work. It's getting better. So let's take a look now at your task 1, the rainfall one. Okay. This line graph above illustrates the amount of precipitation, is that what I said? Precipitation in England, Scotland, and Wales, respectively, during the year of 2018. Overall, the amount of rainfall in all 3 countries does not present any specific trend, although England was the most stable along the period shown, while Scotland and Wales presented greater fluctuation. All right, that's very nice. Good. Wales opened their year with almost 50 ml of pluviation. Well, that's a little overkill. You didn't really need to say pluviation. You could have just said rainfall. And after all the fluctuations during the year, it finished in December with almost the same amount of rain. They had a drier I here period in April and again in August, in September and October, when the amount of rain remained stable, not reaching 50 ml. Okay, now from what I saw in your comments, you were kind of confused about what to do with the tenses here. This is something that happens in IELTS. Occasionally you will see one that has past and present and future. So that means that you have to make some adjustments accordingly. So the past is easy. You talk about it in terms of the past. Anything that continues up to the present, you're going to have to use present perfect. Then anything that has to deal with the future, you have to refer to as a prediction, a forecast, an estimate. You have to use these kinds of words. You'll use will. You will use words like is expected to be, is expected to reach, is predicted to increase to. Okay, these are the kinds of words you need to deal with this. But we're talking about predictions, forecasts, and is foreseen, or things like this. Okay, is expected, this kind of language. All right, so here we use the past tense for things after September. It's inaccurate. Okay, here also I wanted a little more data. You have in this graph 36 pieces of information. Obviously, you're not going to mention all of them, but for Wales, you mentioned 1, and then 2, and then, let's see, when they met again, okay, all right, yeah, you mentioned some. Okay, because here I see now that this not reaching 50, you're referring to 3 months. So, okay, it's fine. You mentioned about 5 pieces of information for Wales alone. So I guess that's okay. All right, let's move on. Scotland showed, excuse me, greater fluctuation, note that, with absolutely no trend at all. Their driest month was February with about 20 ml, sorry, whilst there's an ML missing here. The wettest months were May and October when it reached more than 130. Okay, 3 pieces of data here. That's, let's see. You know what you could have said? You could have said that the first half of the year showed huge fluctuations with rises and dips between the months, okay? But then it leveled off to more, certainly not stable, but to less fluctuation between May and December. You could have said something like that. But okay. Let's see. England's rain fluctuated between 70 and 120 ml the whole year, with their dry season in May and their rainiest around March and October. All right, a little brief again. But I know it's hard because there's just so much fluctuation. You think, you know, how can I possibly do this? Fine though, fine. I like this. It seems like you've got a good grasp of the task 1, so well done. Now you need to just correct these, return them back to us. Don't forget your error correction list, okay? So that's it. I guess I'll wait to see your next essays. Looking forward to it. So good luck with your next writing assignment.